Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with 86, and I'm going to be taking a look at these Asiahorse Matrix fans today. Now, these are kind of neat and a good way to end Fanuary. Happy Fanuary, by the way. I try to do this every year. I didn't last year, but anyways. These Matrix fans offer a different solution or alternative to just normal, typical, standard, everyday fans. They're fully enclosed fans, much like a radiator, and they also come in those sizes. Only 240 and 360 right now. I'd like to see something 280 and perhaps even a 120 and 140 variant of this style so that you can have cohesion if you decide to go multiple at a time. Wow, that sun got bright. They can daisy chain off each other, which is excellent. They do have some stock built-in modes, not as many as we typically see, but they look pretty good. You do have the option to go in there and change a lot of the modes to different colors or use a rainbow effect, but there's, again, not a whole lot there. Now, if you have the 3-pin 5-volt header on your motherboard, they also sync with things like Aura Sync, for instance. So if you're banking on that, just make sure to check your motherboard first and that you have the 3-pin header, not the one where they're all right next to each other like this, but the one that's like, you know, kind of like, and that's your 5-volt RGB headers so that you can sync with the motherboard. Now the box does label that they go up to 1800, but in BIOS I could only read them at a little over, and I mean a smidge over 1700, which is fine. I'm comfortable with 1700 personally, and if you're not doing any massive overclocking or anything, you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Ideally, these are case fans, but they can be installed onto a radiator, and the screws to do so are included. Now, these are PWM fans so that you can set them and adjust them in BIOS, or you can set them and let the case kind of do its thing on auto. And when it comes down to it, you only need the one PWM connection, and it kind of acts like its own integral hub. So if you have 3 fans, 1 PWM header to rule them all. Now, if you do get multiple, you only need to plug in one SATA to one and then chain link it to the other one for the RGB effect. You also need to put the PWM fan header on for the other one. If you go 360 and a 240, you just need to link them together. You don't need to power them both by SATA. Only one of them needs the SATA power. There are 7 LED speeds here for the lights, and I've got to say, when it comes down to this, usually the first 4 are pretty terrible, and that is the case here as well. The first 4 speeds are pretty bad because they're so slow they look extremely choppy. This could be resolved if they had more LEDs inside of them so that it didn't feel like such a jumpy effect. The cable lengths are about 19.5 inches. Also, in case you're wondering, will these be long enough to reach where you need them to? I didn't have any problems with how long the cables were. I think that most people will find them quite adequate for routing cables inside the tower. They do at 1700 RPM push a pretty decent amount of air, as you can see here. And now, typically with fans like this, I try to do some sort of sound test to give you an ambient room, and I picked 3 different settings in BIOS from a low, a medium, and a high level, and we're going to listen to that right now. Now, like with most fan videos, I like to end them by showing you a couple of the examples of what they look like, how bright they are. So we're going to do some light functions here, and you can see some of the stock built-in lighting features that they have. You guys have a great day, night, whatever it is. I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you in the next video I do. Happy Fanuary, and this will be my last one for this year's Fanuary. Bye!